Let's open up this cave. 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome to Carnivore Expeditions. I'm in North Alabama again today and I'm out hunting for caves. I found a sinkhole, which at the bottom of this sinkhole there is a crack, and I can see through some sandstone boulders at what appears to be a large chamber about 20 feet below. The problem is I can't get through these boulders as it is. I'm going to have to remove some of these boulders if I want to get inside this potential cave. I'm going to show you what I have, a little bit more of a close-up. Here's my helmet, and you can see that my helmet doesn't fit. So if my helmet doesn't fit, my body certainly isn't going to fit. But here is the chamber. I'm going to put the GoPro a little lower down into the chamber. So you can see that there is a room down there. I don't know if it qualifies as a cave. Like I said, I'm in Alabama. I have to get 50 feet of passage before it qualifies as a cave. But I'm going to get out my tools and go to work and see if I can open up this possible cave.
Let me clean out these holes with a pipe cleaner. If I can get this one rock out of the way, I can probably squeeze inside.
All right, getting ready to do rock modification number 1.
3, 2, 1.
That sounded like a good modification. Let's take a look and see what we did.
There's still a lot of dust and powder in the air. That will settle down shortly.
Okay. Already definitely moved this rock. I'm going to bring my hammer and my crowbar and see if I can send this rock down into the pit. I just noticed there's some animal scat right here around the top of this entrance. A lot of times animals will hang around cave entrances because they can get the hot air that's coming out in the winter or the cool air that's coming out in the summer. So it's a good sign to see some animal scat right here around the entrance.
I'm going to see if I can roll some of these rocks down into the pit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to grab the hammer to loosen up some of these other ones. I call this rock persuasion. There it goes. Send it down the hole. Well, it's too big. I'll hammer it down the hole. There it goes. Crowbar time.
Looks like I'm going to have to do at least one more modification to get in here. That first one was really good, but there's still a big chunk of rock here that's going to take a little bit more persuasion. So I'm going to get the drill and put another hole. I want to show you what I have after I have cleaned it up a little bit. This is after the first rock modification. I went in there with the hammer and I chipped away some of the loose rocks. So half of this rock came off and I sent it down the pit, and I gardened up a lot of these loose rocks down here. I have another hole drilled right under there. So I'm getting ready to do modification number 2. I have to be very careful where I put these holes, because when I do the modification, I don't want to collapse the entire pit. If I collapse the entire pit, then I won't be able to get in there. I'll actually be worse off than when I started. So I'm trying to be very thoughtful about how I do these rock modifications so that I don't send all of these boulders down and choke up the hole. This is rock modification number 2. We're hoping for a good reaction so I can get down into this pit. We're also hoping that the entire pit just doesn't collapse.
3, 2, 1.
All right, that sounded like a good reaction. I'm going to go down here and take a closer look. All right, I think we are in business. That looks to be plenty big enough for me to get inside. Took off this entire chunk here and throw those down. I'm going to clean up all of these loose rocks, and then I'm going to see if I can fit inside. I decided to do one more modification. This is modification number 3. I just wasn't sure if the opening was big enough for me to get through with all of my vertical gear. So this is number 3.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, it looked like that was a good modification. It knocked over my GoPro camera, but I want to show you what it looks like after the fact. So now we have plenty of room here. I think that's more than enough room for me to be able to get down in this pit and see if it qualifies. I'm getting ready to go into the cave. Because I am by myself today, I've sent a satellite message out to my team so that they can find me in the event that I get stuck. I also put this high visibility vest up in the tree, so that will make it a little easier for people to find me in the event that something goes sideways. Guys, here in the state of Alabama, a cave has to be 50 feet long before it's officially considered to be a cave. So I have a 100-foot tape measure. I only have to get 50 feet, but I'm going to be taking this along with me and keeping my fingers crossed for 50 feet. I'm going to go ahead and send this tape measurer down the pit. That way I don't have to carry it through this crack. It should just unspool all the way to the bottom. Looks like the pit itself is about 20 feet, so I'm actually almost about halfway there. Okay, there it goes. Let's see, I have a tensionless wrap around this tree going down into the pit. I don't see any overly harsh edges which need to be padded. So I'm just going to try to Squeeze down in there.
Okay, this is tighter than I thought it would be. Ouch. Sharp rock jabbing me in the back. Okay, I can breathe normally again. Whew.
I'm trying to figure out the best place to put the rope. Oh man, it looks like there is an offset pit. So
there are two different directions I can explore. Left side, right side. That's good. This slope is slippery. Of course, no one's ever walked on it before. Kind of humbling to know I'm the first human that's ever been in here. Exploration at its finest.
all right, I'm getting off rope. The pit itself is 20 feet deep. So we got an entrance pit of about 20 feet. And it looks like we have cave in two different directions. There's another pit over here. And it looks like there's cave down this way. So I'm going to go down this slope first because I may not have enough rope to go in the other direction. Take the knot out of my rope and let's see if we can get 50 feet. Okay, looks like there's some canyon passage up above me. I don't know if this winds around the corner or not. Goes around the corner and I don't see any more passage. And I am up to 30 feet. So I need 20 more feet. So the bottom, the pit is 20. Coming over here is 30. So that's 30 feet. I still need 20 more feet. A little window over here. I don't see anything over there. And I believe there is another pit over here. Man, there's some nasty looking boulders on the ceiling. Looks like it goes down about 10 or 15 feet, and I'm really going to have a hard time going down that without just getting soaked. I mean, that just I have to get soaked, but there would be passage going in 2 different directions. And I'm just not prepared for wet caving today. So this remains a karst feature. I'll have to come back at some point and go down this very wet pit when I'm wearing a wetsuit to see if this is actually a cave. But anyway, 20-foot pit. I got 10 feet in one direction, I got 10 feet in another direction. That's 40 feet, but that leaves me 10 feet short of being able to qualify this as a cave. So it's not a cave, it's a karst feature, but it was still a fun project, and I had a good time today. So I gotta get out of here. I gotta get back through that squeeze on rope, and I gotta get all my gear together and get down the mountain before it gets dark.
We gotta exhale. See if I can find a foothold. Dang, some of these sketchy boulders are loose.
Guys, I have all my gear packed away and I'm about to hike back to the truck. I don't think I'm going to come back to this particular hole. I don't think I can pull 50 feet out of this very lovely karst feature. Guys, I'm going to put some links up on the screen to some other cave project videos. If you enjoyed this one, you're going to love these other ones. And subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.